Commitment, a pledge or promise to do something. Commitment, a pledge or a promise to do something. Commitment, a pledge or a promise to do something. So I pledge the allegiance. I promise you. When I was growing up, they were like, oh, you promise? Pinky swear you promise? But when I commit to something, it's actually a promise and a pledge, right? So when I give you my word, because when I was growing up, it's like my word is my bond. I don't need to swear. I don't need to do no pinky swear. I don't need to promise. My word, when I tell you my word, so how strong is your word? How strong is your commitment, right? And what I want to hone in on is not your commitment to others, because we go all out for a lot of people and everybody else. But how strong is your commitment to yourself? Are you keeping your word to yourself? Are you promising, keeping your promises to yourself, your pledges to yourself? When you say, you know what, I ain't gonna do that no more. And I'm not talking about you, it don't count because I didn't say it out loud. How many people feel like that? If I don't say it out loud, it don't count. But it do count. Because you're saying it loud in your mind, in your spirit, in your heart. If I get out of this, I ain't never doing this no more. And then you end up doing it again. Right? So how strong is your commitment? And maybe you're like, yeah, my commitment's strong, especially to myself. When I say something, I stand on it. You know what I mean? Then you might have somebody on the opposite end, like, man, I be wanting to do it. I try to commit, but it just happened. It just happened. And I get that too. So this is what I tell people. And I tell myself, because I tell myself a lot of this stuff, all of it actually. Commitment. How do I start to be committed? Like start from ground zero. Like, I'll just be saying, I'd say things and then it just don't. How do I start from ground zero? Right? And I said this to myself, maybe this might help you, but this is just my testimony right here. I said to myself, okay, you know what? I'm only going to speak truths. I'm only going to speak truths, right? And what's that mean when I say speak truths? I'm only going to tell my things that are true. I'm only going to say things that I know that I can do, I will do, right? I know. And then you're like, you know what? I already do that. Okay, cool. So I bring it down, I bust it down a little bit lower. You know what I mean? All right. I'm only going to say things that I'm willing to do. I'm only going to say things that I'm willing to do. And when I say willing to put as much effort as needed to accomplish it. That is my truth. So now when I say something, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Before I say it, I think to myself, am I willing to put the effort in, the willingness in that is required to complete this goal, task, or objective? If the answer is no, like I know I ain't about to put the energy into this, I'm not going to say I'm doing it. And it's tough because you're so conditioned to saying yes to everything and canceling. Or I could cancel, or I could be late, or I could do this. You're so conditioned. So I had to condition myself out of it. And it may be not towards other people, but to myself. When I tell myself, like, you know what? Shoot, I ain't doing this no more. I ain't never doing this no more under any circumstances. Or only time I'm doing this is if this happened. Shoot. But other than that, and then I end up doing it. I'm like, what the? Man, I ain't doing this no more. And I find myself before in the same cycle. You know what I mean? Same old cycle. So I'm only speaking truths. I'm only speaking things that I'm willing to do. Okay? So commitment. Are you committed to yourself? Are you committed to yourself 100? I'm going to leave you with that.